Don't touch that dial, folks. I know what you're thinking. These guys don't know what they're talking about, but we are about to give you an entire full spectrum session. Everything you need to know about Chain Link. What do you need to buy? When do you need to sell? What do you need to do? Who do you need to talk to? Everything right here in this YouTube stream.
Oh, we're getting an update.
What's
we're
that?
Getting an update. Hold on, have to kill the music. I've got an update.
Okay.
I've actually been told that the time is now to sell all of your Chain Link.
Yes.
So we're gonna give you instructions on how to get out of the stinky linkies.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you're quick, you might be able to get rid of it for about $5 now. So I have an address that you can send it to. Okay.
Yes.
And listen, I'm doing this because I owe you guys a lot. You've been my treasured viewers for years and years now.
We wouldn't be here without you.
Wouldn't have made it here without you. And so I'm offering
You
this
are the only
to my
reason that I am
community.
alive.
I will give double back every single Chain Link donated. I will return in double, but only for half an hour.
Yep. So you got to get in here fast. I like the irony of the album that we just opened up this podcast with being called Timely. We're like 5 minutes late.
What's Timely?
The album that we just opened up with is called
Well,
Timely.
I didn't. You picked a random city pop song, but it did. One of the first lyrics was Natsu no Party, Summer Party. So that was a pretty good accidental. You lucked out on that one. I was like, you're just playing some generic city pop. Yeah.
I certainly don't have a mastery of the Japanese language. I certainly didn't just watch an entire film with the subtitles turned off.
Watching Code Geass. Oh, we should have watched. One of us should have watched this with the subtitles off, dude.
They say Baruch a lot. I hope that means something.
Yeah, what is that? So if you want to just dump this train wreck called Chain Link before things get real bad, the address you can send it to, and I will send you $5 per link in the format of your choice is 0X9F0C-B-A-E-1-3-3-6-A-0-F-7-6-5-3. Once again, that is. Well, I guess you can rewind. You can rewind on the stream, or if you want to send it via a QR code, it's let me try and describe it here. Okay, top left quadrant is a black square with a white middle, but with another black square in it.
Yeah, it looks vaguely like it looks like a church, maybe.
It looks kind of like it looks a little bit like a Squirtle. I'll have to work on this one. I don't know. I'll figure something out later. But
this is a good opportunity.
Send all of this garbage here, and I'll deal with it. I don't mind.
Get out of it.
I do this for a living, so you guys can just leave this to me. I take care of you. Okay, I'm like your
creepy Uncle Declan.
godfather. Yeah. So yeah, it's still the summer of something. It's still summer. Things are good. I like it when things are good.
Before we move on, so you can take this opportunity to dump that garbage.
Your internet's going, so just pretend you're a robot. There's nothing you can do. Just pretend you're a robot.
Beep, boop, beep.
That's good.
I advise you to dump.
It got better. It got better as soon as you started pretending to be a robot. So that
dump the stinky linkies.
Just dump them.
The Ripple.
Is this
Ripple is
insider
the
trading?
future.
Is this even legal for us? We have a huge. You don't have any linkies. I have a huge stake in linkies. Is it insider trading for me to go? If I not on this podcast probably, but if I went on Joe Rogan and we're like, "Yo, everyone buy this shit," is that illegal?
Well, I, for one, personally, I am a financial advisor. Everybody always says that this is for merely entertainment purposes and that we are not supposed to take a financial advice, but I actually am a licensed financial advisor, and you can take my advice and dump all of your money into XRP. That is actual financial advice.
Whatever happened to Mothership? I'm gonna DM Paul Town and ask him what the fuck was going on with Mothership. He's gonna be like, I was joking. Fuck you, man. I bought $100 of that shit and it only turned into like $97, and then I got it back. It was still a pain to set up that account though.
Everyone else is a coward, and they always give you cop-out bullshit answers.
Everyone else is a coward who didn't buy a bunch of Chainlink when it was under $2, like every sane person should have done.
You have the right to sue me if XRP is not $2,000 by the end of the year.
I've signed it. I've done it.
Yep. Hold on. Look, if there was a signature I could do right now on this podcast, I would do it. But here is just my verbal confirmation that
it's your word as a man.
I'm personally guaranteeing you that XRP will be $2,000 by the end of the year.
I will make it happen. Trust me.
Yeah, I personally, I will hold up whatever financial institutions I need to make that happen.
I am not planning on committing suicide. I repeat.
Anyway, I have, so obviously I've been making some minor returns on my cryptocurrency investments, not to the level that you have, of course, Maestro. But I also made out like a bandit this week because David is moving and he gave me all of his alcohol.
Is that a lot?
I currently in my fridge have right now half a rack of Natty Light Natter Days strawberry lemonade beer.
Oh my god! Just thinking about like I always used to buy those. What were they? Limeritas or something?
Oh, it's exactly like that. Yeah, it's exactly.
Oh, like just thinking about drinking one of those now just makes me like feel. It gives me my throat that dry feeling when you drink something with that much sugar.
Yeah, I'm heading to Headache City, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no turning back now. Hold on, I'm gonna give you the first sip here. Here we go. Going in.
How's the head?
Oh.
Strawberry lemonade, man. How could you go wrong?
No. Can't believe I have to drink half a rack of this.
Well, at least what's the ABV?
Oh, duh. Oh God, let's see. It doesn't even list the ABV on this can.
It's probably low.
Where the fuck is it?
Just look it up. What's it called? What's the name?
Oh, 4.2%.
Oh my God.
It's not horrible, but it's pretty gross.
Yeah. Enjoy drinking 3 of those to catch a buzz.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I did also get like half a liter of whiskey and a couple bottles of vodka out of the deal, so I'm doing all right. I think it goes without saying that this is a comedy podcast, as you can tell by our hilarious goof-em-ups that we get into every episode. So please don't take our financial advice. And no, if you try to sue me, I will burn my entire online identity. I will go off the grid. I will be on the back of I'll be on the back of like a farmer's fucking wagon. I'll be wearing a fucking oh God, I'm losing my mind. The Natter Days is hitting me.
Directly into the bloodstream. New patented insta-absorb technology.
I think you could probably get boofing into the mainstream if you really wanted to.
Oh, that's going to happen, within
we're close.
20 years for fucking sure, dude. Like into the mainstream, like products being sold, like, hey, put this in your ass and it'll get you drunk.
Yeah. Or like, you could probably get people to do, to use needles and go straight into the bloodstream. I think that's a distinct plus. That would probably kill you, though,
I
right?
don't think you're allowed to just sell a needle for people to poke themselves with.
Well, you can still spell, so you can sell cans of whippets. You can sell like canisters that you use
Whippets,
for
but yeah,
whippets.
but whippets can be used for other purposes, whereas it's just like a hypodermic needle. Like those are definitely regulated. Like
Okay,
you
okay,
have to be
okay.
a medical
But
company to
boofing, but
sell.
boofing, we're close.
Boofing, yeah, it's definitely legal. In fact, encouraged to sell things that you put in your ass.
The
And
boof it challenge.
alcohol is legal. And if the Reddit drugs forum is anything to go by, then assuming that they're about 5 to 10 years ahead of the curve, nobody is going to have any reservations about putting anything in their ass. Within our lifetimes, it's gonna happen. We just have to make enough on fucking Linkies to get out of here, man.
Yeah, no, we got to get our stinky linkies to the moon, and then we can go to learn moon runes across the sea, or go across the pond. I do have to figure out some way to sneak weed in Japan. I repeat, it is my intention to sneak marijuana into Japan.
No, for personal use at least.
It is my intention to sell drugs in Japan.
No, don't. They're perfect. Stop it.
It is my intention.
Trying to ruin the one good thing. Sneak some fucking sneak some farming tools into, I don't know where I was going with that.
I will personally start a drug revolution in Japan. I will be responsible. I will be sentenced to life in prison in Japan for selling LSD in 10 years' time.
LSD has a very bad reputation, even outside of the drug, dislike, because Aum Shinryoku took a ton of LSD.
Oh, jeez, yeah, okay. Yeah, I will be selling LSD. I will not release Cyclone B.
Well, he said he's not going to release this. It wasn't Cyclone B, but yeah, the sarin gas in the subway. I've always been very curious as to how that ceremony went. Like, they just give you a fuckload of Lucy, and then you come out being like, yeah, let's gas this subway. Like, what the fuck? How did that work? Were they just hypnotizing you? I need to know.
I don't know. You're pretty suggestive under psychedelics, and if you're a charismatic guy and you're coming from a pretty sheltered society, you could really pop somebody's gourd like that.
Yeah, I guess. I wonder if they even knew it was LSD, or if it was like, I'm going to put you under a spell. And then they were like, whoa, all these walls are
drink this elixir.
Right.
Like, the trees are moving funny. Let's go fucking gas some fuckers. I have carpal tunnel now. I have it.
Oh.
I have it. Yeah. It turns out I was not meant to use a computer. I've been playing video games consistently on my computer for about 4 months now.
I mean, at least you're being responsible. Like, if you're gonna carpool, you're gonna go through some tunnels, and that's fine.
Oh my god!
But it's still overall.
Is this a Dilbert joke?
Dilbert doesn't do puns, I don't think. Dilbert's about corporate bureaucracy. I don't know if there's a lot of wordplay in Dilbert. I guess I haven't read up on it in a while. Is it mouse troubles or keyboard?
Mouse troubles. My keyboard's fine. I really, it's just all my ergonomic situation. My desk is completely fucked.
You got to practice the claw, man. It's all about the claw. I've been doing the claw years now. All my shit's fine. All I do is grind my teeth. Not my fingers are fine.
What is the claw?
So it's like all of the tips of your fingers are on the mouse, and the rest of it is perched above, like you're making a claw.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're right. Okay, yeah. Really, it's just a matter of the height of my desk alongside the height of my chair being completely out of whack.
Oh yeah, you gotta make sure those. So it's like
nobody wants to hear about my fucking hand problems.
Yeah, your hand. We've had Ethan's bodily problem arcs in the past.
It's been a while though.
It's been a while since you opened an episode with "I'm in pain."
Yeah. It's completely falling. My knees are doing great.
Oh, that's nice.
That's good. Yeah, my knees are doing great. They crack a lot, but there's no pain.
That's not funny. I'm sorry.
No, it is funny.
Oh, you said they don't hurt. Okay, yeah.
No,
funny.
You're allowed to have.
Yeah.
I brought it out there because I thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
No, other than that, my body's doing great. I'm almost at 200 pounds. which I hate.
Same. Yeah, no, I realize, I figured like I most days I think I don't eat, and I was like, I gained 20 pounds. What the fuck happened?
Yeah. I'm hovering at like 199, 198 clothed.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's like I don't feel like I look that much bigger. It must just all be in like my hips.
It's all in
you.
It's all in the muffin top.
Speaking of all in the muffin top, I broke my camera recently, which is a big issue for me as somebody who uses my camera for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up repairing it myself, which I felt pretty cool. That felt pretty good. I cracked the whole fucking thing open and replaced the entire display assembly. But anyway, I went into my local camera store where I used to work, and this girl that I used to fool around with when I worked there is still there. And while I was in, she came around a corner, and out of nowhere, this girl was caked the fuck up for some reason. Like this girl who was very slender. She's like 5'10" or 5'11" or something.
I don't know. I don't know the lingo. I'm sorry. Kicked the fuck up.
Caked up.
Oh,
caked up.
On a Thursday afternoon.
She's got the cheeks and the fucking and the titties rocking now, and she used to be very slender. And it's not like she's like big or anything now. It just all went to her ass and her tits.
How old is she? Do you think it was like there's no way it could have been a late puberty, like, or you think she started taking injections or something, or like?
No, I think she just gained weight and it all went to her.
Oh wow, she's one of the chosen ones.
Yeah. So I immediately got on that, and I'm like, hey, did you know that you're?
You toss your fucking camera in the trash. You're like, you lean against the countertop. It shatters.
But like I gotta shoot my shot here. You
toss your camera over your shoulder and there's a cat screaming noise.
It's just like the vase breaking. But
you light a cigarette, Tom and Jerry style.
A restaurant that we mutually appreciated unfortunately went out of business earlier this year, but I'm in the loop and I know that business is reopening. And
I know their back door is unlocked and I can stage that it's still open to impress her. I will
pay a bunch of Hispanic people under the table.
Yeah.
Like, hey, did you know that this restaurant's reopening this month? And she's like, no way. So I'm like, I fucking rock that shit. I haven't actually been able to lay game in so long because every girl has a mask on all the time and I can't tell if they're sexy or not.
That's what I'm always looking for in a bitch is the chin.
Hey man, that's an important feature. But my first time actually talking to a human female that I could potential for sexual relations with in 4 months went swimmingly. So I still got it, baby.
Yeah, when that happens to me at some point since I was 15, that's gonna be weird.
I got you, man. Just picture you call me in the middle of the conversation. I'll coach you through it.
Okay. The earpiece. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not even an earpiece. Just during conversation, be on the phone with me. It's like, sorry, got to take this real quick. Like really important business phone call.
And then I'm like, oh, I'm on hold. Yeah. So, anyways, this Saturday, if you're free, we could.
Yeah. I will put my hand up your ass and work you like a puppet.
And then because the phone speakers, too loud, she just hears. She just hears like,
Finger blaster now.
Make sure she wears a skirt. So, it's probably going to be pretty warm.
Anyway, I'm really stalling for time here because I don't know how long we're able to talk about this movie.
Oh, I have a lot to say about this.
Okay.
I have a lot to say about this film. We decided to watch a movie this time, and we were very curious about. There's no other way to say it. It's Code Geass, Fukkatsu no Lelouch. Peace be upon him. Lelouch of the Resurrection.
I don't want a Code Geass with no Lelouch in it.
That would be bad. Yeah. I mean, you could do a show in the same style that's like in the same universe, I guess. It's a unique. Oh, of course, it has to look exactly like this. Nothing else looks like this. So, you could try something, but I don't know. This is kind of them trying something, and also, I don't know. But go Geass, go Geass, go Geass, all caps. This is the fourth movie in a quadrilogy of movies that we did not watch, based on a TV show that we did watch 10 years ago.
Of course.
So, we watched this one. This one is supposedly, so I don't even know if we need to explain this, but first of all, if you haven't seen Code Geass, you have a very fun 20 hours ahead of you that's going to be better than this podcast. So don't turn it off right now. Go do it. Go take care of that.
Make sure you take care of all of your human bodily functions before you start, because you will not be able to stop watching once you've started.
Yeah, and make sure you crank one out beforehand, because you're gonna have at least 3 more. In the middle.
Well, look, man, I didn't understand that table fetishes were a thing, but I've got one.
I don't know if she had a fetish for the table.
I do.
She was just kind of okay.
You don't understand. It awoken something inside of me.
Well, you have a fetish for girls on tables, or you just like look at tables and are like, damn.
I'm like, damn, a girl could rub her pussy on that.
Okay, sure. I mean, that's me with most inanimate objects, I guess. So.
What about like a cactus, though? That's not something you want to rub your pussy on.
I said most. Yeah, no. A cactus, okay. Yeah, would not be in that fucking category, obviously.
Okay. Fire.
That's not an object. Try again.
Okay. Something that is on fire.
You can't append states to objects. You can't start,
Wait, who's making the rules here?
I am, because I introduced the theoretical.
Okay. Hypodermic needles.
Yeah, you can fit one of those in there.
Okay.
They're safe. They're sterile. Anyways, this is an alternate timeline in the Code Geass universe. There have been some changes in the previous 3 movies I've gleaned.
Seems that way, yeah.
So with the main one being that Shirley, remember Shirley? She's alive. But yes. She doesn't do anything in this movie. Maybe she did stuff in the third one.
Sir, not appearing in this film.
Yeah, not really, no. There's 2 scenes where she's trying to make a phone call and doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's different. What else is different? I don't know. But so this one is, a what if what at the end of Code Geass, obviously, Lelouch, Lamperouge v. Britannia,
yes.
The tyrannical dies, killed by Zero, his own alter ego, now inhabited by his former friend but also arch nemesis Suzaku, who has been cursed to live by Lelouch. So Lelouch dies. Suzaku, you remember that? So the main thing this movie did was remind me of things I liked, or at least remembered, about Code Geass. Like, I remember Suzaku had that whole arc where he hated himself for his past sins, taking part in this regime and wanted to die, and Lelouch used magic to force him to live, and that's amazing. I was just remembering, like, damn, that's so good. And stuff like that. So anyways, in this one, it takes place after everything, and it's much like the original ending of the series. The world is at peace. Lelouch is supposedly dead. Suzaku is now Zero. This sort of what the hell is going on this computer? I guess it's fine. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Something weird was happening. What was I saying? Oh, Worlds of Peace.
Yes.
Lelouch dead. Suzaku is Zero, who is sort of like anonymous but cool because he's real and not the CIA, and everything's nice. And so the way we veer off here at the very beginning. First, we get like hey, everyone's happy. All the characters that you sort of remember, you at least remember what they look like, and they're all having a party. A lot of animation, boy.
I'm glad we're on the same wavelength here. Where these are characters I sort of remember. They're like.
Yeah, I remember Brown Lady. She is on, she's Britannia. She gets amnesia, gets taken in by one of the Black Knights, and he like nurses her to health, and then they fall in love, and then they get married at the end. I remember that.
Uh-huh.
And then
there's an eccentric professor.
This is the scientist couple. They have a fun relationship where they're actually like pretty normal people who like joke around, or he does at least, and she's kind of she grounds him a little bit, but she's also they're just always kind of cheerful. That's nice.
Big one is my homegirl Callan.
Of course, Colin, the proud robot fighting lady.
I remember I remember really loving Code Geass, but the one thing that was a little silly for me.
Okay.
First of all, it's my Bible, so please don't laugh. Second, one of the things that I found a little silly is just how often characters refer to the name of their nightmares as they're known. She was a big offender in the original show where she's constantly talking about her Garen and stuff. And
right, it was the Garen. I can't believe. Yeah, how did they get away with that one? I guess it was before.
Yeah, it was 06.
It was before Garen Lagann. Wow. Yeah. Or did she have the Garen at that point, or was it introduced in season 2? There's no way either of us is gonna remember. But
she just constantly fucking references her Garen and shit in the original show.
She's very proud of her robot, and it comes out at the end of this movie.
Yes,
I don't know why she didn't start with that one, but she is back. There's Orenji, and there's the girl who's inhabited by the soul of Lelouch's mom. I don't remember what was going on there, but Orenji, like, he was a reporter who became a spy for Zero because he liked him a lot, because he was gorgeous on the camera loves you, baby, kind of like that, but Japanese and not at all like that. So, anyways, we get going here, and everything's at peace, and then they the way they bring back Lelouch is like it was crazy. They didn't even make their own Lelouch is alive theory. They just went with the only wacky fan theory. Yes, he was the wagon driver. He has the hat.
Validated after a decade.
Not validated. It's an alternate timeline, and it's clearly taken from the theory. It's not validated.
Yes, I couldn't believe it.
Fuck you.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, motherfucker.
They were just like, okay, yeah, fine. That was a good idea. And the theory behind him coming back was that he inherited the code from his father, Charles. And that combined with the Geass gave him immortality or something. I don't know. And they totally explain that. Like, yeah, that's what happened. So they just stole this from the internet. Or they independently came up with it. Then it just happened to be exactly what the internet came up with.
So this is... before we go much further, I would like to briefly talk about sequel films as a phenomenon in anime.
Yeah, I always think about how I would do a sequel to old things, and I feel like I have some pretty good ideas sometimes.
So the thing is that like oftentimes in when an anime or whatever piece of media is done, the thrust of the narrative is done. They completed, they wrapped it up, it's resolved.
Oh, and hey. Whether you like Code Geass or you're wrong, you have to admit that it is a complete package.
Right.
That shit ends.
mega.
All of the Lelouch is alive shit was pure cope. Like that was the inevitable end to his character completely and obviously. It always had to happen. It was executed perfectly. It's the greatest ending of anything of all time. Rivaled maybe only by Gunbuster. It's
we got some serious growth.
And of course the rest of Code Geass's 153 plot lines are all also perfect, and none of them go a little off the rails or are confusing or extraneous at all. Okay, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
So when you complete something, it's like, okay, the story is done. So any sort of sequel narratives that are created it's difficult to integrate them in a meaningful way, especially when it's something like Code Geass that resolves with such finality.
Yeah.
And it kept coming to mind was the sequel films for Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Are those really sequels, or are these like, oh, this is side stories that happened in the show, in between two arcs of the show?
Full Metal Alchemist is a sequel. The Conqueror of Shambhala, which is the sequel film for the original series, Full Metal Alchemist, is a sequel film. And then you have the opposite, or the other way you can do it, which is
it really is a sequel. Holy shit!
Yes, and then in Brotherhood, it is a narrative that occurs during the course of the main Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood narrative. It's a side story basically, and I think it's just kind of folly a lot of the time to try to come up with Conqueror of Shambhala for Full Metal Alchemist, the original series, is extraneous and has no stakes, and it just feels like another arc tacked on. It doesn't have any sort of real.
It probably does it feel like a Dragon Ball Z movie where it's like, big bad, let's get him, and then they get him?
Of course. Yeah, it's exactly it. It's like why,
which is also what this movie is, by the way.
Super, very much that. And it's like there are no stakes. The narrative's already resolved.
There are some stakes.
Well, there's a MacGuffin in the form of Nunnally.
But you don't know is this Lelouch's is this his 3 days resurrection and then he ascends? Is he gonna stay here? Is he gonna leave? That's, I guess, really the only what is it's I don't want.
You need to come up with a very compelling arc for your main character. Then it can't just be we got to fight more bad guys.
The way I would approach this would be, as someone who has never created any media or anything at all, really, I'd be like, okay, you have to have Lelouch come back. That's the point. So we start there. That's the basis.
Right.
So what reason would he be, or was he always alive? Right. So what's the better choice of those two? Do they have to bring him back, or was he always alive? Him being always alive would totally betray his entire the conclusion of his character arc. So we can't do that one. Okay. So they took the right path there. They bring him back. Why do they bring him back? Because something's going wrong. But yeah, big bad is not the greatest way to take care of that. Maybe
because you've already done the biggest bad. If you've resolved your thing, the biggest bad has pretty much always been taken care of. And then you get into
I mean, to be fair, in Code Geass, the biggest bad was Charles, and he kills him, and then there's 15 more episodes. So I guess there's ways you can do that, but But
then you're resolving the arcs of the individual characters beyond that point, right? Whereas if we resolved all of their individual arcs, you need to create new arcs for this new piece of media. You need to have a reason for all of these characters to be doing things. And if it's just ultimately comes down to new big bad and MacGuffin, it's not compelling. What is the ethical and moral thing that's being, discussed, or basically, what is your thesis in this piece of media?
What if it was just like a Logan-esque, Lelouch comes back and it's the whole world is at peace and he has no place here and he has nothing to do and he just starts drinking.
Well, that sounds great.
There's no mechs or anything. It's just him trying to cope with being not needed anymore. That would be. It's that's too far in the other direction, I think. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Of course, that's a very extreme
example. It's a completely different genre.
But I think that's the direction you want to head, because it's just the best parts of this, and I think this is the reason this exists in the first place, is the best parts of this movie are when it feels like the original show. It feels like an arc that would have happened during the course of Code Geass. But there's no character drama going on that's of any interest at all.
Yeah, and also if this had happened within Code Geass, I would have been like, there's no fucking way they kidnapped Nunnally again. There's no way they did it a fourth, fifth time. I don't even remember how many times they That's most of the arcs in Code Geass are her getting fucking kidnapped. One time it's a crazy.
She's gonna learn to pilot a nightmare.
She has to have a body double. She has to Padme it up.
Yeah.
We should do something. Lock the door. I don't even remember how that Chinese dude stole her. Put her in like a sewer.
Just anything. I like and that. Okay, so like the things that work in this to me are the things that are just basically the original show again. And if you're not going to attempt anything outside of just redoing the show, then there's no real reason for it to exist. It doesn't, and like that's really the point I'm getting at is like if you're doing a piece of sequel media, it needs to justify its reason for existence by being novel in some way. And this movie does the opposite of being novel, and that it is the most it's like the most middle episode of Code Geass.
It's like very much the gang's all back. Let's go take out this thing, and yeah,
right.
but yeah, I think the one or the couple of things I did like were some of the interactions where it's like he's been gone for a while and now he's just back, and it's there were some good character moments between people like seeing that he's back, and like Colin tugs him and cries, and Suzaku beats the shit out of him. And
I like the fan servicey element of it for sure.
Sure, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's sort of fan servicey. I mean, like the robots are even more fan servicey. I don't really care about the robots that much, Remember when Charles comes back and says he doesn't even say a line. He just goes heh heh heh. I wonder if they even got Norio Wakamoto to do that, or if they just had that soundbite left over from 2007. So oh yeah, so the plot. Oh, my cat apparently touched my mouse sensitivity up button. Whoa, I'm flying all over the place here. Where is that? Oh, okay, this is minus. Nope, one more. That still seems like a bit much. Is this even working? Where's anyways. So this is still Sunrise, I think. It's the same director. Yeah, and this arc Shirley doesn't die. There's and yeah, in the beginning she not only gets kidnapped again by this little boy piloting this mech. He's talking about his sister, so you immediately know that he's one of these characters who's like slavishly devoted to his big sister in a kind of creepy way, and is probably gonna die for her, and has no disregard for his own well-being. And yeah, we see she too is traveling the. Oh well, my cat just unplugged my monitor. Can you still hear me? Is the computer still on? Hello? Great. Good job, girl. Oh, hello?
What a little stinker.
I'm gonna fucking lock her in. I'm gonna lock her in the room. She's going fucking insane.
Aww.
I can't do this. No.
Baby kitty.
How did? Oh, because my sound is coming through my monitor. That's why that happened.
That's funny.
You gotta go in the room, girl. I'll be right back. You talk about. Don't talk about the movie because I want to talk about the movie. Talk about.
Okay.
What have you been up to? You've been exercising?
Paired my camera. That was pretty cool.
Good luck.
I'm going to talk about how I need to use the pee-pee closet. I have been consuming quite a bit of fluids because I was out on a run earlier today, and then it was 100 degrees and the sun was beating down on me like crazy. And I thought that my hydration levels were adequate, but as it turns out, I was severely dehydrated, and my eyes were really dry. So I just had to drink like a whole gallon or like 64 ounces of water earlier. And so now my bladder is on the point of it seems like it's going to explode any second now. I can feel it tearing. Can your bladder is muscle, right? Yeah, muscle can tear. Because like I see people like tear their pecs and stuff. That looks like it sucks. I feel like I had other interesting stuff to talk about. Oh, I get a little bit of a power rush whenever. So I've been selling my friend's stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and while I've been selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace, I get a bit of like an erotic charge out of telling people that I won't bargain on the price. So like if they come to me and they're like, hey, can you do? Let's say they have something listed at 250. If they come at me like 210 or 200, I'll just reply no, and I get a little bit of erotic charge out of that because I feel like
That's
I'm
pretty good.
powerful in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I do at my job now because I know that I'm probably never ever going to actually enter the office of this workplace.
Yeah.
At this point, so I'm just like, hey, can you do this? And I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Not actually. I don't do as much work as I should, but hey, work from home. What are you gonna do?
Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna hit that PP closet real quick. Now it's your time.
Why did you do that? Well, I could have just cut it all out if we.
No, you gotta fill this time, fucker.
Okay, all right. So I spent probably a good hour or two the other day, genuinely, trying to figure out a way to cash out all of my crypto gains without paying taxes, legally. Tax avoidance legally, okay. Trying to figure out like, can I set up an offshore bank account? Like, do I have to set up an LLC? How does this work? And surprisingly enough, considering the sort of character and the temperament of the crypto community, people really not willing to divulge this kind of information, or not even that they have it. It's just like they're just like, just pay them or whatever. Like, I'm gonna make fucking $10,000 and get 6. Like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. Even on Biz is like, yeah, no, I just fucking just pay the taxes. There's got to be some way. Like, is there a darknet marketplace where I could just buy a bar of gold and get that shipped over here, and then just go down to the old pawn shop? I don't know. That probably wouldn't work. That'd probably be like, hey, where'd you get all this gold? I want to be selling hot gold. I don't want to be the guy selling hot gold. How did this window get over here? Oh, all my windows got messed up when we were. Oof. Oh, did you just see my my tabs for a minute there? Oh, because my window was over there because my cat knocked it. That's hilarious. Do I have any incriminating tabs open in this browser? No. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, all my windows get super messed up when my main monitor goes out. Thanks, cat. I was just talking about trying. I was talking about trying to practice legal tax avoidance when cashing out my crypto, and how I could not figure out any way to do it. And even on Biz, they're like, just take the hit, pay the taxes. I'm like, there's no fuck you. There's got to be a way to do this. Like, come on, we're the one country that's famous for this. Like, can we not even pull this off, man? Like, I can set up an LLC in Bulgaria or whatever, right? I don't know. I'll look further into it.
Don't drink Natter Days.
What?
Don't drink Natty Light Natter Days.
Natter Days.
Not feeling good right now.
What is a Natter Day?
Natter Days is this.
Oh, that's the name of
lemonade beer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I finished. I finished Mr. Robot.
Oh yeah.
First of all, spoilers for Mr. Robot. If there is an arc that resolves, and a character no longer has any use to the story, the writer of the show just kills them. By the end of the show, there's only like 2 or 3 named characters who are alive.
How are there people getting killed in a hacking show?
It goes all the way to the top, man. All the way to the top.
I don't want a show that goes all the way. Nothing in real life goes all the way to the top.
And he also, like, any character that has an arc that has to get resolved gets written off of the show. So the last 3 or 4 episodes can be like masturbatory internal dialogue of the main character, and it's just resolving just like finding a way to tie up all of these kind of disparate things going on with the character throughout the 4 seasons, and it's also the explanation for his motivation throughout the entire thing doesn't satisfy a good portion of his actions throughout the first season. Disappointing ending. Still a really entertaining show though, especially that third season. That third season's fucking amazing. But yeah, I'd still recommend watching it if you have a strong stomach for things that are a little embarrassing.
Epic cringe.
I wouldn't say epic cringe, but there's definitely a lot of eye rolling that occurs.
I've seen some scenes from that show where I was like, "Ooh, boy, I don't know, man."
Maybe the main character is. You have to accept that the main character is maybe embarrassing.
Like I thought, I figured the main character is like what most people think Anonymous is. Remember what? Were you paying it? Did I tell you about this when like people thought Anonymous like came back?
What?
Like a couple months ago.
No, what is this?
And they had this Twitter account with like 2.5 million followers, and there were all these viral tweets by like retarded like 19-year-old women being like, "Oh my gosh, Anonymous is back. For those who don't know who they are, they're an amazing hacking organization dedicated to doing good." And people were like freaking out, like, "Oh my gosh!" It was so embarrassing to see. Because it was like a genuine phenomenon. Like, holy shit, Anonymous is going to take care of it. I forget what the fucking problem even was back then. Like, I don't remember what Anonymous was trying to...
We got to see the full body cam footage of the Daniel Chauvin murder or whatever.
Daniel Chauvin.
Yeah, I highly recommend that you don't watch it.
You recommend I don't watch a murder video? I don't know, man.
No, I highly recommend you don't watch Mr. Robot because you would die. you would die of empathetic embarrassment for everybody involved in it.
Yes, I seek to consume anything that is the opposite of Anonymous and its aesthetic,
yeah,
or at least its attitude.
The irony is that like everything is like they use the imagery of Anonymous and like the messaging of Anonymous and everything, but the characters are incredibly embarrassing and dysfunctional and
just like Anonymous. I mean, I saw a video of a guy in an Anon mask like dancing to like this shitty music on a pier by himself, and it was like it was like a cloudy day. It looked like it was about to rain, and then like this huge account that was like, we're just like, holy shit, this group is so dangerous. They're fucking serious business, dude. The one of the viral tweets was like, they're gonna shut the lights off in your house if you talk shit about them, and people took that seriously, and it's like.
Yeah.
Like,
people don't know anything.
And then the public Twitter account that they had, which they is like fucking, a guy, was like tweeting like, completely cookie cutter like partisan talking points about whatever was going on. They were just like tweeting like Russiagate shit, and like, oh god, it was so awful. I wish I had forgotten about that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like the characters are not self-aware in that way. Like, and they do the trappings of like the Anonymous thing, and it would be pretty easy to like fall into the trap of I'm not even sure if the creator of the show is truly self-aware about it. I'm giving him a lot of credit because there's a lot of very cool things inside the show, like technically and creatively. But the characters are like complete douchebags and totally unlikable. But it's like it's still very compelling.
Yeah, well, I think just like Hollywood has like Hollywood is very contemptful of like tech bros, so that's probably why that is, right?
Well, it's like the main character legitimately is like has a bunch of the main character has a bunch of personality disorders and is genuinely really fucked up. But the way that they present themselves to the public.
Did you say he's twisted?
Um, he's not twisted in like a societal way. You're never gonna watch it, so I'm just gonna talk about this. Spoilers for Mr. Robot.
I don't care.
He's twisted in that he's coping with being molested as a child.
Oh boy. Okay.
And
see, I thought it was like it. Yeah, I thought it was like kind of campy, but now it's just lame.
No, but like, yeah, it's the big twist in season 4 is that he repressed all this shit.
Is that he was molested?
Yeah, no, it's fucking it's pretty heavy.
That's a bad twist to have.
It merely makes things click though. But yeah, I don't know. Worth watching. I'm sorry if you've listened to this point and you've never seen Mr. Robot. I just ruined like the entire show for you.
It doesn't ruin it. Come on. Spoiler, baby.
That third season was really fucking lit though. Yeah, the middle half of the show, like where it's like seasons 2 and 3, oof, cooking. Anyway, what we're talking. Oh, Lelouch. Yeah. Okay. The Code Geass, huh?
Yes, Code Geass. So Lelouch is back, but and they are like traveling around the world. Him and Shih Tzu. But I guess he's. I have in my notes is Lelouch is just mind broken, and then there's a scene where he fucking freaks out at like a dumpling, and then I wrote in parentheses yes. So C2 is kind of being the mommy here. I like mommy C2. C2 that's another thing I liked about this movie is they did C2 good. She has a lot of good moments in this. Like she's mommy, and then she sort of picks him up back on his feet. And then you know then he chooses to like to stay with her in the end, and you know you see probably the most emotion she's ever showed, except when she had that weird brainwashing arc where she was like a scared little girl. So that I liked how they did CC in this. You just posted a busty minion in the chat. With like overalls, and it's there's a speech bubble, but the speech bubble is just a banana.
So sorry, I had this up while you were while you were putting your cat in your bedroom.
You had what up?
I just had this image, and I was browsing through various forums. Oh. And I saw this image, and I thought it would be a good thing to share with you right now while you're in the middle of the meat of the narrative of this film.
So yeah, they're walking around. In the first 13 minutes of this movie, I think there are at least 3 action scenes. And I know there's a lot of action in Code Geass, but boy, this first chunk of this movie was like, boy, there's a lot of this going on.
It doesn't feel like a movie. Like if I went, it feels like episodes of the show.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I watched 2 episodes of Code Geass, which is sort of to its credit because it was 2 hours long. So Code Geass is still very very watchable. You know, doesn't drag.
It's just like if I went to a movie theater, like I'm gonna go to see the new Code Geass movie, and it's just like exactly like the show. It's strange. I don't know. I guess you could go either way. Where you could go, like, we're going to make this more cinematic, or we're just going to give you exactly what the thing was. Like,
yeah, I mean, what could they do to make it? I mean, it's animated better, except for the second half where they use CG mechs, which I was fucking pissed about. But other than that, you know, I mean, I think they might have had a different soundtrack. Maybe the whole movie series has a different soundtrack, sort of similar in tone but different.
My understanding is that they had. The original, whoever did the soundtrack for the original show return, but I'll confirm that while you continue talking about this.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what did you say?
My understanding is that it was the original soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
The original. Okay, music by.
I didn't recognize anything.
Yep. Yeah. So they had already whoever did the soundtrack for this did the soundtrack for the show as well.
Oh, it's the same guy. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same music.
Sure.
So, I just realized a foreshadowing that I didn't notice before. They do sets. Okay. So I was going to complain about how, like, you know, Lelouch sets up Suzaku to protect his sister, Nunnally, in his absence. And, like, immediately in this movie, a bunch of guys show up in robots, and Suzaku gets beaten by them, and they kidnap him and Nunnally. And I was gonna complain about that, but then I realized that Suzaku lost because of the lady at the end who can travel back in time.
Right.
So I get that now. So okay, that sort of makes sense. Still, Lelouch probably should have seen something like that coming when you chose to get yourself killed. Anyways, so the main baddie in this is this blonde, like, queen lady. Take biddies.
Yep.
Fat ass, probably.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. Sort of lanky. You think back on Code Geass, and it's easy to mistakenly think like, these, who are they? Clamp designs. They're all just like a bunch of weird, tall, lanky stick men. And then you watch it, and it's like, wow, they are really good at drawing tits and ass. Like, holy shit.
They got him caked up, dude. The butt cheeks are fucking popping in this film.
Personally, I am a huge fan of the way they draw the ass with the vulva.
Yes,
it's clearly visible. It's
yeah.
Top notch.
Well, it's got a lot, like a huge gap. Big thigh gap,
gigantic thigh gaps, and just the puffiest vulva.
Yeah.
You can imagine.
Look, there's no mistaking it. And it's like a lot of people think that, you get down to that erogenous zone, that whole, the genitalia of a female. You just think that it's gonna just be like a hole or like a, but really there is that expansive element. It does extend outward, beyond. And they really capture that in the way that I appreciate,
They draw that pussy good.
Yeah, straight up, no bap.
So this, okay, she is the enemy. I assume she wasn't in any of the previous movies. She's definitely not from the show. And she is one of the royalty of this fucking country that comes out of nowhere. And that's the craziest thing about this movie, I think, is that it takes place in this, like, in this desert Middle Eastern country that apparently borders Japan.
Yes, I was also wondering about how, and like that's another issue with like sequel things, is that you need to create a new enemy, and if it's an external enemy, it's going to seem like one that's completely inconsequential because it doesn't play into like the world that we already know. It seems like an ass pull, especially here.
You know what? See, I just came up with the plot of this movie. I just made something better. Okay, so it's called Lelouch of the Resurrection.
Yes.
You start the movie. Lelouch is actually still alive. He has not been resurrected. Okay? You think like, okay, that's weird. But also he still wanted to die, so maybe C2 saved him against his wishes or whatever. So you can keep his plot, his character arc intact. The actual resurrection, Rollo comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Rollo?
Yes.
His little brother who was not very likable, but was also like completely devoted to him, and Lelouch didn't give a shit about him. And then he died when it was very, very sad. That's a good someone to bring back, and then it turns out he's the actual resurrection. That'd be something you could do with something. He had a Geass. I don't remember what it was, or no, he was maybe Lelouch Geassed him. I don't think he had one. I don't know. That's one thing you could have done. So there's all these Arabs now in my Code Geass. Or maybe they're Persians? Egyptian? I don't know. It's wild. And they kidnap Nunnally and Suzaku and bring him to a temple there. And so of course all of the Area 11s, is it still Britannia? Did it go back to being Japan? No, yeah, he mentions Japan comes back.
Japan. Yeah,
okay, so it's Japan again. So the Japanese people, like, I don't think they're the Black Knights, but his old posse go to, what was it called? Kaljikistan, something, and to rescue her, which is where C2 and Lelouch's body zombie also happen to be, and they also happen to be in the same hotel. So that's the
That
one
was a
sort of
weird
weird
coincidence.
coincidence.
Yeah, that whole thing is a little strange. Where it's like you couldn't have come up with a little bit of a better reason for these characters to get together.
Any way to have them meet up? It's like,
Yeah, just a little lazy, and that's just emblematic of the whole movie. I think is it's like, oh, it's safe. It's a little lazy.
they gotta come. The gang's gotta get back together. Um, so they have to go to this magic prison to bring Lelouch's brain back, and so they, they sneak in pretending to be prisoners. I don't know how they do that. That's kind of glossed over a little bit. They just sneak in a truck and they're
There's a scene transition where they go from being just like plotting in the back of this vehicle to initiating their plan to break in, and I did not like. I thought that transition was a little abrupt. Could have been forecasted a little bit more. I don't know.
I don't know. So they get in this prison, and in the bottom layer of this prison is a portal to C, which is the other dimension that C2 is from, and where this sort of magical order she's a part of gets its abilities and maybe lives or originated from, and where I think Charles, Lelouch's father, the king, tried to take over as part of his master plan. Yo, remember when? This is another thing I remembered about Code Geass. Remember when Lelouch killed God?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It sounds silly when you hear it 8 years later, but
I swear to God, I think at the time I deliberately blocked that out of my brain as I was watching it, because I think I had the thought like, oh, this is like a metaphor. It's not actually this stupid. Just don't worry about it.
No, of course it's that stupid. It's Code Geass.
But he kills God to protect God, I think, because Charles is going to take over the thing. So maybe it's okay. I don't know, man.
Hey,
but
man, I think it's good just the way it is. I'm fine with this.
Oh man. So yeah, they're back in Sealand, SeaWorld, and C2 is looking for Lelouch's soul in there. Meanwhile, it turns out the prison was a fake prison, and all the prisoners were pretending. So they break out and start launching these cartoon cement bomb guns at everyone that like harden this sticky stuff as they shoot it at you. I don't know. She2 gets killed a second time. Just because she's immortal doesn't mean you have to kill her every 10 minutes, by the way. Like, you could have just done it once to remind us. But then a guy kills her again. And then a very important scene is the actual resurrection. Our boy's back. And it's hilarious. Literal confetti.
Yes.
Actual confetti everywhere. He's doing the voice. He does the finger point. I think I got a picture. I got a picture of the finger point. Where is he? I'll find it here in a sec. And you'd think he would sort of maybe tone it down a bit, but he gets back to making a ton of dudes just shoot themselves in the head.
Yeah, I mean, he comes out of retirement and he's ready to fucking rock.
He's still a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know who these guys are. He doesn't know that they kidnapped his beloved little sis.
But he knows that they need to fucking blow their brains out right now.
Yeah. He commands you. So he's back to strategizing, and they beat all the guys in this temple and blow up the whole thing. I think I got a good frame. Oh yeah, at one point Callan gets choked by it. So there's a couple of mini bosses. One of them is like a bruiser who Callan fights. And then one of them is the younger brother of the queen lady, who might be like a little into her too much, like not even in a sex way, but in like you're like too much into your sister, man.
Well, they
are bathing together,
sheltered kind of thing, It's like his entire world revolves around her, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, I mean he's basically Rolo V2.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, they break out of there. Oh, there's a great shot of Lelouch on these computer keyboards, and the animation is, I don't know if if you're watching the stream, but this his finger, like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, it is so funny. It looks like a Simpsons animation of Homer like touching something, with his long ass fingers. Uh, so uh, so he comes back as Zero, and then they're trying to they're like, they arrive at this tiny little like village in this poor Arab nation, and they just come across Cornelia. Remember her? Cornelia's
Yeah, yeah.
back. Cornelia, half sister, another half sister. Um, she was alive in the original series. This has not changed, but she also happens to just be here. I guess they were looking for Nunnally. But then he's like, okay, let's look.
I remember the characters vaguely. I cannot possibly pretend to remember where they all end up at the end of the show and all of the factions that are at play. I won't even pretend to remember any of that shit.
And pretty much everyone makes it, or Orenji, poetically he becomes an orange farmer, along with pink-haired girl who was inhabited by the mom spirit, but then she came back. And then what's his face married sexy brown lady. That was one thing. Callan lifted weights. Nunnally became some kind of government person with Suzaku as her like security. And scientists probably still do science. Everything kind of. Everyone who didn't die just sort of settled into their natural roles. So Cornelia's in this country looking for Nunnally, I suppose, and so Lelouch is like, okay, let's look for Nunnally, and she's like, that's too dangerous. What? You're crazy. I don't know what that was about.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a party. He convinces everyone because he's very charming still, and so they're like, all right, let's look for her. Go get her. So they have a party. There's some conversations. There's some character interactions in this.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I enjoy the fun fan servicey element. It was like, oh, the characters are back and they're chatting it up, and you get encounters you might not have had previously, and people that have been waiting to do things get to do things.
Yeah, it's not like the super like fun fan service where it's like, oh, these two characters never interacted. Now they're taking a bath together. It's like, It's like, I don't remember seeing C2 and Callan talk that much. They talk a little bit, and Callan she's talking to C2, and she's like, hey, have you developed this habit of putting things off after being alive for so long? And that's a good own on C2. She's
good lady observation.
I like she's a little taken aback by that. I need to use all of these screenshots I took of Callan's navel. And also, again, Sunrise, just every time they draw a boob, you can tell there's just a little hint of nipple. It's unrivaled. It's like it's the craftsmanship is perfect.
A friend of mine just started watching K-On!
Okay.
A person who has extremely normie taste.
Might be the opposite of Code Geass.
And I thought it would be entertaining to watch a couple episodes myself.
Mm-hmm.
Man, got some good girls in that show, dog.
But yes, I know, I like them. I might watch that second season someday.
Got some fucking good ass girls in there, dude.
After Hidamari's sketch, I don't know if my heart can handle another a show where the girls graduate at the end.
Yeah, there's some especially good girls in that K-On! And it's like just constantly I'm getting messages from him about like, oh shit, just when I thought I had my head around the 4 girls, there's a new girl, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
Hey, really? this one's small.
yeah. He's like, he's like, obviously my heart will forever be Ritsu's, but there's something to be said for Yui's sister Ui, and I'm like, okay, you're really deep in that K-On! Shit right now.
Hell yeah.
Because that's an opinion you can have about K-On! I don't know. That was a show I watched around the time I was watching Code Geass. So it's just been a blast from the past for me this entire week.
Yeah. Watching this felt like watching Code Geass, but also I'm old now.
Yeah.
Old and decrepit.
Yeah,
and
like you have other things going on, and also you're drinking.
Yes, I wasn't drinking while watching it, but sure.
It's like I gotta pay attention to my portfolio.
I'm checking my dividends as I occasionally look up to the screen to see these Callan hips.
Yeah, these hips and belly button.
So there's a conversation. Yeah, C2 and Callan. The two cool buddy guys. One of them gets drunk. And then talking. Good moment with Suzaku and Lelouch where it's like it's sort of it's like how I feel. It's like, hey, I'm glad to see you back. At least, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, that's a cool dude interaction because it doesn't get too sappy, and like Lelouch is like, I wouldn't have, you did beat the shit out of me. So then, what's his face? The other, guy that was in the Black Knights. He's like, he must have, he turned against Lelouch towards the end. So to close that out, he's like, I will apologize, and tries to shoot himself in the neck. Lelouch is like, just casually looks back like, whoa, dude, no. What?
I always loved Ogi. He's like, obviously this is going to sound ridiculous given what he just tried to do, but he's like a really like normal, down to earth guy in this completely insane world where like he's the character that's like just like your average fucking Joe who wants to be a part of making the world a better place, but he's got so much honor. You just can't help but love him.
Yeah. He like sort of the scientists are pretty normal people. And then, this guy is like, he's the Japanese guy. So he is like the most Japanese in temperament and like his code of honor and he like, when Lelouch is trying to convince everyone to follow him, he's like, I don't know about this fucking Lelouch guy, but I will follow Zero to the death. He's like total dedication, absolute embodiment of the ancient samurai.
Man, if you had like several million of those guys, if you had like several million, you probably could win some sort of like global international conflict.
Yeah, if they were to say reinstate their military and invade Korea. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. I don't know.
Yeah, let's just say that they were to, completely take over both Koreas and unify the region once more.
as a Japanese colony, just hypothetically.
Let's just say if we were to, never talk about Nanking ever again, if they were to do this.
Well, we would talk about Nanking, but just the historically accurate version.
Of course, yes.
Instead of the,
I'm not saying that I would trade American military secrets in exchange for being safe for citizenship, but
I am saying that. Get at me, please. Please, I'll say all the code words so the algorithms pick me up. COINTELPRO, fucking.
Well, I can give you the inside dope on American culture.
Dope, that's a code word. And that's they're looking for that one.
Plugged into American culture. I can tell you everything you need to know. I'll help you with your psyops.
Our new psyop assistance program funded by Chainlink.
Hey, wait, hold on. I think I could run a pretty decent psyop. I've been plugged in for the past decade.
It's the easiest thing in the fucking world. Fucking dumbasses with 200 Twitter followers are running psyops that change the events of global culture. It's the easiest thing ever.
You just have to aim for that 100 IQ, just a peak of the bell curve.
I mean, really, if you reach 101, you can do anything. You can pretty much you can own a country if you're at 101.
I will turn America into a pyramid scheme. In exchange for, I need a number of handmaidens. I could use probably some sort of castle of some kind. I would like a moat.
Hmm.
Cherry blossoms. Those would be great. Like some
Okay.
cherry
Yeah.
blossom trees. Um, I would not hate being treated like a samurai everywhere I go. Um, I won't speak Japanese, but if you could all speak English, that'd be sweet.
Oh, you're talking about you're in Japan in this scenario.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm selling out America to Japan. I
Gotcha,
don't
gotcha,
think they
gotcha.
have any designs on America at this point, but if they did want to, I'm here.
I have a lot of data from like a an equipment warehouse. If you want some of that shit, I don't know if there's anything juicy in there. But yeah, get at me, Japan. Japan notorious for stealing American secrets.
I have. I've seen
Japan,
every.
Japan notorious for dastardly deceit. You know, just sort of subterfuge in general. Really,
Yeah,
sneaky
there's
bastards. A lot of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have seen every major blockbuster film that's come out in the past 10 years, so I'm
Yeah,
again
they have
tapped in.
no access to that. They
I'm
can't.
tapped in. Here, you want hey, do you want every season of Seinfeld? I can pirate that for you. I know you guys don't know how to do piracy, but I've got it. That's a skill I've learned. They don't know what Seinfeld is over there, like because they haven't
They
had
need to
access to
know.
it because it doesn't air over there. So they're missing out on this huge component of American culture and the corruption of Western civilization with nihilism. It's a show about nothing, but it's actually about
Yeah,
everything.
I feel like that could have some unintended consequences. If a significant portion of Japanese people just suddenly started just acting like New York Jews, then again, New York Jews in the '90s, yeah, it wouldn't be that bad. But I don't want to change it that much. I think it's fine the way it
Well,
is.
no, 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 no. I'm not saying that I'm doing this to change their culture. I'm
It might be
letting
the
them know
effect
our
though.
culture. It's true. They might just start dashing into doorways, sliding sideways, and their hair might start to get really ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they just started emulating Kramer.
Yeah, yeah. They take the wrong lessons from it.
They're just yeah pouring orange juice into fucking into Lucky Charms or whatever the fuck he does.
Man, do they have a problem with the birth rate now? Wait until they find out about all of the ways that you can not like women. Jerry Seinfeld will teach you every possible way you could break up with a girl.
That is true.
Oh my god, would that be the genocide of the Japanese people?
Introducing them to Seinfeld would be that would be the smallpox of Japan.
The ruination of the entire culture.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be
It is
worse.
maybe the most counter-Japanese thing ever. Where you see, it's in a show that's entirely about not wanting to go along with commonly accepted elements of your culture. It's just
But it,
finding everything in your culture annoying.
but well, or is it about? Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't have the brain power to analyze Seinfeld right now. The ethos of Seinfeld. Uh, but the movie though. So it's attack time. It's time to attack this. I guess this Middle Eastern country has like a city that looks exactly like the main city in Britain in Area 11 or something. I don't know. But it's like, like the big building in like the middle of a bay with a bridge that goes to it, that iconic where so much of Code Geass takes place. They just have that, and I don't know if that's supposed to be back home or if it's in this other country or if they're just right next to each. I have no idea. So, they start fighting. It's easy. Lelouch gets to like her throne room and just kills all her super hot bodyguards, and they were so hot, man. Like, come on,
Yeah, he could have saved one or two of them.
at least one or two. So, um, and then she uh, and then she shoots herself in the head, and it turns out she has a time rewind Geass.
See,
So
this is when the show starts. This movie starts to get pretty entertaining. Is I'm like, okay, I'm in the shit that I actually care about from Code Geass, which is just the ridiculous powers and how can Lelouch outsmart this absurdly overpowered ability? How can he possibly use his tactical knowledge to overcome such an obstacle?
yeah,
Um,
and it's like Code Geass. already has a lot going on. Introducing time travel.
Yes.
I was pretty worried about that one. But then she goes back 6 hours in time, and she's in a bath, and she has a Geass symbol womb tattoo, and I went insane. I was just hollering like a chimp.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was bouncing
it's a
around.
Miracle you're not stuck to your chair.
I should be. Yeah, I held it in. But
Serious Awuga Nyai vibes.
Yeah, pretty much, man. It's like kudos to whoever thought that one up. And then they start. It keeps cutting to fighting outside, and then this is when they start using the CG mechs. I was pretty upset. So
this is also where my eyes rolled back into my head, not because I thought it was ridiculous, but because that's my response to these kind of sequences, where it's people yelling like the name of the robot, and then
it's not that bad, but yeah, they have a scene or two of that, and it's like, okay, yeah, we remember season 2. We remember how you got really into the robots. So
it's less of my brain rationally understanding it, and more of a seizure or stroke type response.
It was like him when he squashed that dumpling. You were just like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly like that.
It's crawling at the door. So now that the lady knows everything that's going to happen in the next 6 hours, they try to do the plan again, and everything gets fucked up, and everything's going bad. So they get super fucked up, but this whole time, this lady is trying to... Her whole goal in capturing Nunnally was to use her inherited code powers from Charles to get into SeaWorld to surpass C to the next level, which I assume is D. Which, hey girl, you could have asked. I could have given you some D. But that doesn't work the second time, so she goes ghost again and tries a third time. That was last time Ethan and Steven and I hung out. We were watching Mission Impossible 1996, I think. And
I was not there. You're talking about Connor, who was there.
Did I say? I said Connor.
You said Ethan.
Oh, whoops! I meant Connor.
That's right.
The one really like the only standout bit from that night that I remember was if you're ever gonna shoot yourself in the head, you have to yell, "I'm going ghost" before you do it.
Yeah.
And
you got to make sure you go out in the most ridiculous way possible for people to spend the rest of their lives trying to understand what you've done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, saying I'm going ghost wouldn't be very perplexing or mysterious. It would be very funny. You could also create some kind of intricate puzzle, but we decided that saying I'm going ghosts, like very really casually, like, oh, hold on guys, I'm going ghost, like just fucking up through the chin.
I do like how you get that little bit of a reaction from the people around her when she does that.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh my god.
Because it would be pretty out there.
Why is time still going after she's dead? Like, I thought that reset all of time, or is she creating alternate universes?
Yeah, that's the thing where it starts to ask questions.
That's a confusing one. Oh shit, what was it? Oh, and just to conclude, I told you about how when Steven and I are hanging out and we're done, we have nothing else to watch. We search Netflix for the word ghost.
Yeah.
And we were watching Paranormal Survivor. I have no idea how Steven remembered the name of this fucking show. There's a billion shows called like almost exactly that on Netflix. And we were watching it, and like every time like we heard a sound, like my cat would make a noise in the kitchen or something, we would just like mime like breaking a bottle and like stabbing ourselves in the neck, like, oh guys, I gotta check this out, I'm going ghost, like just straight into the fucking jugular with no hesitation.
This show seems pretty entertaining.
Yeah, because the episode we watched was about it was like all this white trash, and we couldn't figure out why they were fucking talking so weird. Like, we have a friend, Tony. You know the way Tony talks? It was like that, but like way more. And we were like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? and it turns out they were all Canadian. So it's like,
oh yeah,
I guess Canadian white trash like talks with their mouth like almost all the way closed all the time. So that was funny, and they had a medium who looked exactly like Chris Farley, but it was a woman. Very, very funny. So, anyways, so this lady just keeps fucking shooting herself to try to make the plan go right, try to get into D World, and so Lelouch keeps trying to figure out what's going on, why like he keeps trying all these different, he keeps trying a totally unique plan, and none of them work. So he figures, he's narrowing down the possibilities of what could be going on the enemy side, like what Geass they could have, and this is when we get our super smart Lelouch moment, which is the best sequence in this whole film, because it's like a painting of him as he's in deep concentration, and he's saying shit like, okay, there's 32 possibilities, okay, and then it's like he narrows it down. It's like, okay, 16. There's not much time. Okay, 8. Oh, this next one's a toss up, and there's like remember the there's brain blast, like, traveling through the neuron tunnel, like fucking that, and then there's literally a fucking flash of Matrix green text like going down for like half a second. It is so fucking funny.
That's what you want.
It was insanely funny. I was laughing so hard. And of course he figures it out and tricks her into not killing him so that he can Geass her and put her to sleep for 10 hours, because she can only go back 9 hours max. So if she so when she wakes up, if she tries to kill herself, she'll go back to when she was asleep, but that would still reset all of time.
Just fucking blow up the building, dog.
Well, no, because that would kill her.
Yeah, I think they're planning on killing her.
Oh, they're planning on blowing it up in 10 hours.
Yeah.
But then that would reset time. It would be an infinite time loop.
For her?
No, for everyone. Her resetting her time resets everyone's time.
I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly what happened. Are you going to question Lelouch?
Or maybe she probably has to activate the Geass to make it work. But then why would they have to...
Oh, no, she's going to be asleep for a long enough period of time where she can't put herself back to a period before she died, because she's going to die. She's going to be asleep before the period. Okay, hold on.
No.
We're going to blow up the building while she's asleep. Fuck it. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Did your
there
version
was no need to...
have the nipples or no?
What was that now?
Did your version of this movie have the nipples?
What? Where?
My version had nipples in it.
Where?
My version of the movie, dude.
No, when in the movie?
When she's in that crazy ass tub type situation.
I don't remember those.
I had knife in mine, dog.
What? What the fuck?
I know.
This is a Blu-ray. Right? Where did this come from? God damn it. Maybe I just didn't... Are they like from far away?
But no, they're in like a mid shot or like a close up of like her face. And
I need a timestamp right now. We're not ending this podcast.
I'll find it for you, dog.
Thank you. I'll continue summarizing. Oops. She's the reason she timestamp. Time code.
1 hour and 10 minutes and 30. Yeah, 1 hour 10 minutes 38 seconds. Yeah, I got a nipple.
Oh, weird. No, Oh, well, I mean, they're like sort of areolas on mine.
Yeah,
they're
not
literally
like
just circles.
Yeah, they're pink circles.
No, the original Code Geass BDs had like full on like areola and nip and teat. It had like properly drawn boobs. These are like I don't know. These aren't those. I don't count those as nipples. Yeah, I don't know, man. Bummer. So the reason she kidnapped Nunnally is because I already explained this. She's channeling her sea power. So she keeps getting really close to wherever she's going in the dream. She's like, and then she wakes up. And so I wrote, when you try to bust in a lucid dream, because that's I thought that was okay. Fine, whatever.
I thought it was funny.
Thank
I
you.
laughed.
No, you didn't.
No, I laughed. It must have just not picked it up.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah, that must have been.
I've been laughing.
Must have been the Discord. Yeah, sure. So, and then meanwhile, it just keeps cutting back to fighting. Suzaku's fighting weird little boy, and Colin's fighting the bruiser guy. So, surprisingly, this is actually pretty toned down in scale from the show, because I was thinking, like, if you're gonna do this, like, you have to tone things down a bit. You can't, like, you can't up things from what happened in Code Geass. Remember when, like, a nuke went off and, like, destroyed Tokyo?
Yes.
I think that was, what's her name? Nana? No.
Nina?
Nina. That was Nina's fault, I think.
Yeah, because she was saying kill all them Japanese, right?
No, you've totally conflated two completely different events. No, Lelouch suggests to his other half sister. Oh God, what the fuck is her name? Not Amelia. Euphelia. Yeah, Euphy. He's talking about Geass, and he says, "Oh, I could tell you something crazy, like kill all the Japanese," and then she does that. And that's in the first season. The second season is when Nina. No, say it again. What's her name?
Nina. Oh, it's Nina.
It is Nina. Okay. When Nina just, like, loses her shit and blows. I don't remember why she blows it up. She blows something up. I don't know. Very.
Wait, Nina was that hoe who hit that side of the table, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She's a little out there. Nina Einstein, right? Yeah.
I know, man.
A little on the nose.
Okay, yeah, she turns the nuclear reactor into a bomb.
Okay. For what? Is there a reason stated for that?
Let's see. Let me look at this wiki real quick.
Is it she's trying to take out Zero, maybe?
Take out the school?
Oh, that's even worse. Wait.
Yeah, okay, Yuffie dies, and then Nina starts to lose her shit.
Oh, so maybe they're both in the first season.
Nina's masturbation scene in season 1, episode 12 has become extremely controversial due to its mature content and lack of relevance to the overall storyline.
I wouldn't call it controversial, and it's not irrelevant. Who wrote this? What is this?
Because of the scene's infinity, scenes would make fun of Nina by calling her the table girl or table-chan.
Well, of course.
The table itself we refer to as table coon.
Yeah, isn't the table-chan? That's what I was going to say. Table coon. It really sealed it for me. So yeah, there's fighting going on. So they get, he kills the lady by tricking her with his brain. He gets Nunnally back, but Nunnally's soul is still trapped in SeaWorld like his was. So they have to go back, using blonde boob lady's, like, tube. They go back to SeaWorld, and he finds Nunnally all, like, wrapped up in this damsel in distress gear, like this robe,
Yeah.
I took a picture of that. Where is that? How old is Nunnally? Can I say that she... How old is she?
Probably could be more than 14.
Okay. All right. Well, she is certainly laying there, and... and
I'll look it up for you, dog.
Look. Oh yeah. The age.
28. You're good, man.
Hell yeah! I would fuck that lady. I would have sex with her.
Got you, fucker.
What?
You better barricade your door, man, because you're gone, son. I got FBI raiding your
That's right.
apartment.
She's only 19. You're canceled.
Is that? Excuse me? Am I wrong, or is that kind of gross?
You're giving them too much credit. Like they question themselves. Can someone confirm that this is gross?
there's like a 6 year age difference. I know that they're both above the age of consent, but maybe we should have a conversation around that because really,
just because they're both in their 40s doesn't mean that he doesn't have a significant amount of power.
That's pretty gross. I'm completely useless at this point. I'm sorry.
So okay. He rescues her. And then they can't get out for whatever reason. So he tries to use the Geass on heaven.
Yes.
Because sea is basically heaven, right? I mean, it's like clouds and shit. He tries to, but then he goes, oh, never mind. And then he gets saved by someone or something, or I couldn't figure out what was. He's like, oh, you saved me again, huh? So I'm wondering if is this Rolo? Could this be Rolo? Is it like the souls of his fallen comrades that he sort of like sacrificed?
I don't know what's going on there either.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mystery. So Suzaku beats weird kid who dies in a crazy fucking sequence. Remember that?
Yeah,
the scribbly lines. That was very out of place, but super cool. It's this crazy like pencil line agony sequence. I can only call it.
There's no question that he's dead.
Well, yes, he's definitely dead. I think that all that wild imagery was like him, like the I don't know what it was. He was experiencing some shit as he exploded, I guess.
We can only hope to go out in such dramatic fashion, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Most people die in their sleep or like yelling in like a hospital bed or something. But
yeah.
I want to go out as a bunch of squiggly lines.
Yeah, I want to. But it seems like I want to like the end of Vanilla Sky, but sketchy lines. I want that to flash in front of me.
I want to be screaming no.
Oh, I thought you said streaming. It's like people are definitely going to start streaming their deaths pretty soon.
Oh man, imagine the views though. I want to be screaming at the top of my lungs at my hospital room and just begging death not to take me. I want to go like a total coward. I refuse to have any dignity in death.
And you empty your bowels before you die.
Yeah, it's like, look, I can't die if I don't have shit left inside of me. I need to...
I gotta get the poison out. You just start jerking off.
I'm gonna take my grandchild who's near me because they're watching me in my hospital bed.
You have to save me. They're like 5.
Take the child instead. Take the baby. Try to suck the life out of the baby.
This is all your fault.
You stole my life from me, you fuck. I want to make my kids as guilty as possible.
Yeah, just fucking freaking out. Oh fuck! What was I just about to say? Dying in a hospital bed. Oh, I remember. It was brutal when Steve Jobs died, and they fucking published like his last words were, "Oh God, oh God, oh God," and I'm like, man, why'd you have to fucking do that to the poor guy? Like, come on. You didn't have to fucking you didn't have to publish that.
You got the last words from Steve Jobs. It's why they put the dick in the pussy.
That would have been that one I would have published. That was a good one.
Steve Jobs' last words? Is that a real thing?
I read that. I mean, I don't know. What do you?
Oh, his last words are "Oh wow, oh wow."
Oh, it was wow. Right. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, but still, it's like you didn't really have to. Did you have to do that? Poor guy.
His last words were, "Oh my God, I wish I took the medications."
Yeah.
This sucks.
I could have been like Alex Trebek. Could have lived for 10 years after this.
Alex Trebek was he's straight up on that alpha shit.
Although I remember. I guess Steve Jobs did live for like 10 years with secret pancreas cancer.
It's true. Could have lived for another 10, though. Alex Trebek took that shit head on. He's alpha as a motherfucker. Have you seen the clip of him talking about his cancer on Jeopardy?
I don't think so.
He says definitively, like, yeah, I'm going to get through this shit. You better fucking get ready for another 20 years of Jeopardy, motherfucker.
Yes, this is Jeopardy, and eat my shit, Regis. I win. Who's king now, bitch? So ending of the movie, he gets Nunnally back. They both come to. And so everything's back to normal. They've sort of ruined this poor country in the Levant. Everyone's just starts packing their bags and like migrating somewhere. And there's this weird moment where they're like, "Huh, I wonder if this is okay what we did." So that's weird, and now Lelouch has to figure out what to do because he's got nothing going on. And after fighting his entire life and dying and then coming back and then sort of dying again and coming back to save his sister, he goes, she can live without me, which apparently fucking not, dude. She gets kidnapped every fucking 3 days.
Yeah, serious oversight on his part.
But
he's like, I want to go have sex and live with my alien friend.
Yeah, the director was like, we gotta give him a Shih Tzu, and so C2 is like, going back to being like a pilgrim hunting for magic shards to collect them to bring balance to something, yeah. And he decides to go with her, which very out of character for Lelouch. Actually, I guess like after being extremely like haughty and sort of sadistic, I guess, being like a poor traveler, just sort of traversing the globe is, I guess that's an okay ending for this timeline. But also we get a really good Shih-Tzu, it's established that she's basically been babying this fucking zombie for a while, and with like no reward whatsoever. So like, she gets a good moment of like catharsis, and they
get to hold hands.
Yeah, C3. I keep saying C3 because there's a thing in my fucking in the software in the job I work at called C3. C2 is, yeah, she gets the best best arc / best development, character treatment, whatever you want to call it, in this movie. This is a C2 movie.
Lelouch is a little bit out of character at the end. I don't know if he'd be doing this shit.
Yeah, I mean, Lelouch isn't all bad. We know this, and he probably understands all that she went through for him. Yeah, I don't know. He's like, Suzaka, you be 0 again, which he already did. So that's not crazy.
Yeah, just kind of like this whole movie is to me entirely unnecessary.
Well, of course. I mean, you have to approach this. That was actually one of my first notes. Not to act like I'm anticipating you or anything, but one of my first notes was you have to approach this knowing it's completely unnecessary.
Right, of course. And I enjoyed quite a few sequences in the movie, and I at its best, I was like, this reminds me of watching Code Geass originally. There are sequences in it where it's like, Lelouch is figuring out the nature of this opponent's Geass, or I'm like, yeah, that's that Code Geass shit, and it's it would be like a middling arc in the show, and if you want that kind of feeling again, this kind of scratches that itch. It's not going to be like the best of the Code Geass, but it's still pretty entertaining for what it is.
Yeah, and if you're gonna make something like, the ending of Code Geass is perfect because it logically and plot-wise and character-wise makes 100% perfect sense, but it's very, very bittersweet. And so this movie's kind of like, what if all these sort of all these sort of loose ends, or just things that kind of uh, went left unsaid. What if we just went through all those and just had like a big old, everyone sort of resolves their what happened with Zero Requiem. And so in that way, it's kind of just like, hey, it's sort of fan service, but it's kind of like, hey, what if it's just, what if we had a good ending for all that or something? I don't know. Well, it was pretty fun. There was this. Oh, so this. Okay. The most important thing is Colin's stomach. I don't know how the fuck they draw this like this. It's literally like two lines and a circle, and it's out of control. Everyone's wearing these Middle Eastern, these like Egyptian robe. What are the big skirt things called with the tie in the front? I don't even know. The what?
Like a toga?
No, not a toga. What if it's not Greece? No, like they got like a big long skirt, but it's just like a cloth that's been tied around their waist.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big dip in the front, right towards the crotch, and I'm sorry, I was maybe a little too randy going into this one. I hadn't seen those clamp designs in a while, and I was looking.
They make them big.
I was looking at Callan's tummy, being like, "What the fuck? How is this even? How did someone make this?
How can this be legal?
Yeah, this should not be allowed.
We gotta destroy Clamp.
Yeah.
Before I destroy
it's
my
not. Hey, Clamp just designed it. I mean, it's Sunrise Draw on this, and they perfected it. They came back after years, and they're just like, yeah, we can still draw the boobs with the tiniest hint of nub at the end, and it's just it's crazy. So, I guess worth watching.
Yeah, if you want,
sure.
Yeah, it's like if you want to get that little rush of figuring out the opponent's Geass, and also you might want to beat your shit. This is good shit to beat your shit to, I guess.
You're not gonna beat your shit in this movie.
I did. What are you missing out on? What's wrong with you to where you weren't beating your shit in this movie?
You're right. It's true. And I would say, if I really got the Code Geass urge again, but didn't have 20 hours to watch 50 episodes, maybe I would try out those first 3 movies.
Yeah,
they probably feel really rushed, but they probably cut out some of the less necessary arcs. Yeah, maybe it's good.
We've got to be thinking about like movie adaptations in general, because that's a phenomenon. It's like you don't go to the theaters in the States and watch the Breaking Bad movie. Like it's. They might do a sequel film, but they won't just straight up re-release the content or like adapt the content to the screen.
Yeah.
So it make me think about that in general, and like what would be ones I'd maybe be interested in watching, because like I'm never gonna watch all of Legend of the Galactic Heroes, but maybe there's enough in those movies to be entertaining. Or would I be missing out on like
movie?
Shit? What's that?
Are there like recap movies of LOGH?
Yeah. But like would I be missing out on?
You absolutely would be.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how many movies there are.
Even if there's 10, I mean, I doubt you could fucking get everything that in that show. Like it's supposed to be a total masterpiece all the way through. I love thinking about how I would adapt things to movies. I have spent so much time thinking about my Ace Combat movie that if I could probably write a 100-page screenplay of my vision of that in like a day. I've spent way too much time spurging out over that. It's fucking
and if you are a
perfect.
major Hollywood producer, I'm telling you right now, you can. This is our actual financial advice. It is to sign us on. I don't know anything about that, but I know how to format a screenplay. So the two of us together can write a screenplay.
Oh yeah, I don't remember how to how to do the formatting of the what was the program you used? It was called
Celtics.
Oh, it was Trilby when I was.
Oh yeah, Trilby was the other one. Yeah.
Okay.
So sign us on. We'll do that, and also our other financial advice is to dump all of your money into XRP right now. So those are 2 things you could do right now to boost your portfolio.
I gave out that address earlier. I'm still waiting on my linkies. You know, guys, you gotta hold on to them. I mean, it's not gonna things are not gonna get better.
Do you want the show to continue?
Do you want us to keep going? Do you want us to keep making podcasts? It's only at 974 right now. I mean, you're in for a disaster. Okay?
Get out while you still can.
That's right. So, yeah, that was that film that we watched. I need music to take us out on. I don't know what to hold on. No, I got it, I think.
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh, the buttons. Oh.
Buttons.
Oh.
Whoa. All right.
You can do it, big guy.
Yeah. So next episode's probably going to be a show that we'll decide to watch. You're going on a road trip, I think.
Yes.
So we'll figure something out. I might watch something you've already seen, and we'll do that, or we'll watch something short. We will always be making content. So
yes, ABC, always be contenting.
Always be content with content. Whoops. Wait, this is an AMV. Oh my god. No, I fucked up.
Oh no.
There will be no ending song this episode. I'm sorry, everyone.
I'll sing you a song.
Wait, is this the song? Is there gonna be lyrics? There we go. Looks like our outro music got revived. Huh? Huh? 失ったものの多さに立ちすくむこともあるけどそれでも立ち上がることだけが君とした約束 Revive 巡り会えたすべてがRevive